Hello, and it's been a while since I've done one of these, so I've decided I'm going to start a new project. I'm going to do a single session monster, so let's see how that goes. So to ease my way back into this, I'm going to do something within my comfort zone. I'm going to do like a goblin-like creature, often underrated, but I think they're quite fun. I'm going to do a Bullywug, a weird little frog guy who lives in the swamp who's quite angry and brutish and savage. So I start off with a very simple kind of skeleton, just lines and blobs really, just to get the proportions right, and then I start filling in the rest of it as the drawing becomes more and more detailed. As always, when I'm doing a painting, and I know this is going to be a painting, I'm really just trying to solve as many problems with the drawing as I can. I'm not interested really in making a very polished drawing, just trying to figure out what this thing looks like, and I get it to the point that I'm reasonably happy with it, and then I fill in some shading, and then I will scan it in and put it on the board. So what is a single session monster? A single session monster is probably a monster you would use in a single session of a role-playing game. In an artistic way, a single session that's how long I'm going to spend doing it. So from blank page to finished painting, I'm only going to spend a single session on it. A session for me is anywhere between 2.5 to 3 hours. Okay, on to the painting. So do something a little bit different this time. I'm going to try and paint this straight away, cut to white, so I'm not going to do a background like I normally do. So I'm being a bit more careful with my underpainting. And what I want to do is I want this thing to be quite veiny and just kind of stringy, like perhaps it doesn't really have bones, it has like kind of sinew and everything that's attached to it. So I'm laying all my darks down with this kind of darkish brownish blue colour, and you'll see in a minute why I do that, but it's quite a useful thing just to solve these problems in my head. I know I'm going to paint over it, so if it really isn't what I want, it's not the end of the world, but it gives me that starting base. One of the things I liked about the drawing was the stringiness in the arms and things like that. So just filling in the real dark. So I end up with quite a binary image really. So it's either white or it's dark. That's the whole point of this part. I think the whole drawing took about 12-13 minutes, and the painting took about 2 hours, I think. So well within the single session time frame. Now I'm just putting in my normal kind of wash. I know I'm going to be using greens, so I wanted the character to come across quite warm rather than cold. So I underpainted everything with a burnt sienna, just to try and warm everything up a little bit. A little bit about Bullywugs. They are weird frog things that live in kind of tribal communities in swamps and things. They can be quite aggressive, I think. But they're often depicted as quite passive, bit dopey looking things. So I really wanted to make this thing quite, I don't know, a bit scary. I kind of kept the frog aspect and given my piranha teeth as well. So that was sort of quite fun to do. Now you can see I'm going in with that green. It might not look it to begin with, but you can see all of the darks I put down through it, and as it dries you'll be able to see it a bit more. And then if I go over the top with green with a little bit of buff titanium and yellow within it, you can see now I can pull out those kind of shapes that I've built up with really not very much effort, rather than having to go over, because I can see everything through it. So it's a real kind of time saver there. It's weird painting straight to white. Normally I'm using the background to carve more of the silhouette out, so this is quite a challenge for me. I didn't hate it. I was expecting not to like it at all and feel really kind of restricted by it, but actually it wasn't too bad. I don't know, maybe I've become a bit more careful with my painting in my old age. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if I do another one. We'll see if we can try and do it again. I want this guy to have like a tree frog kind of feel to him, so I painted his toes and his knees and his fingers with like kind of a reddish tip, which sort of works well. And it was sort of trying to make it look like he was made of kind of a rubbery kind of material rather than like a scaly skin thing that you might expect. The other thing I attempted to do, and took a while to get right, was trying to get him to have this kind of expandable kind of lower chin like a frog does, how they puff it out, and yeah, I was quite pleased how that went actually. And the only thing I realised kind of at this point was I didn't give him a shoulder. He hasn't got any shoulders, which makes him look a little strange, but I think I'm okay with him looking a bit strange. I like that he's a bit of a mutant, bit of an odd one. If I was going to do it again, I maybe would have spent a bit more time on his costume, considered what he had around his belt. I kind of like his little booties and his wristband things. I think they're quite fun. But yeah, I think I'd spend a bit more time giving him a few more kind of pouches, and maybe have some fish hanging off his belt or something. Trying to sell that fact that he's a hunter type thing. Teeth are my nemesis. I hate painting things that have straight edges to a point. I kind of overthink it, and when I put the paint down, it always splodges, so I have to carefully kind of paint around it. But yeah, it wasn't too bad for this really. Yeah, I mean, if you like these sort of videos, give it a like and a subscribe. I'm planning on getting back into YouTube. I think my last video was about 3 years ago, so I might do a video explaining what's happened in the last 3 years, because life certainly did get in the way a little bit. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, and maybe we'll talk about that, maybe we won't. But for now, I hope you just enjoy the rest of the video. I'll leave you to it. Okay, just about done now with the Bullywug. Here's the finished painting, all cut to white and nice. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Take it easy, folks. Bye now.